a hyperbole. Thank you. I'm going to start with a fun poem. We did limericks, and that was a lot of fun. There was a fat cat from San Juan who played cards through the night until dawn. When he gambled and lost, he said, "Oh, damn the cost. I've still got a watch I can pawn." I've found this sort of last round of the poetry class that some of my nursing experiences are starting to seep through into my poetry, and this is one that's from about 40 years ago, an experience 40 years ago when I was a student nurse. And it was when we were writing elegies and epigrams, so this is an elegy. Blue baby. Small baby, left alone, behind the bars of a metal hospital crib. Your mother was told to leave you behind, no hope that you would live more than a few days. Only I, the nurse on duty for this night, am here to gently touch you, your body now growing cold and blue, and whisper softly, "Safe passage, little one." And then we had some fun with haiku. This one is medically related as well. Endoscopy waiting room. Patients read news of foreign invasions. And I spend 2 days a week with my little granddaughter, and this was from an early spring day. Little pink boots wade fearlessly into puddle as deep as the sky. And this one was from the week, I think these two things happened in the same week or very close, from the week when the cyclone hit Burma and then the earthquake happened in China. And this one's called Earth Speaks to Tyrants. It's in the rondel form. Earth speaks to tyrants with violent proclamation, displays with force the limits of their power. Vortex born of air, a cyclone engulfs millions in an hour, declares regime of Burmese generals needs transformation. Earthquakes unleashed in China thunder, reformation. Flimsy buildings collapse, kill, with thousands left to cower. Earth speaks to tyrants with violent proclamation, displays with force the limits of their power. Litter of bodies, no food, no water, growing protestation. Mothers crawl through rubble where their children are embowered. An Olympian rescue feat now demanded of this superpower. Let rulers cease their greed and arrogant misinformation. Earth speaks to tyrants with violent proclamation, commands compassion, overthrow their corrupt power. And then this is one of the pastiche poems we did, which was fun. We got to pick one of our favorite poets and then do an imitation of their poem. So I'm going to read first the poem by Ted Kooser, who was a former poet laureate in the United States. And he's from Nebraska, I believe, so it's often a lot of sort of rural or nature images in his poem. It's called The Early Bird. Still dark and raining hard on a cold May morning, and yet the early bird is out there chirping, chirping its sweet, sour, wooden pulley notes, pleased, it would seem, to be given work, hauling the heavy bucket of dawn up from the darkness, note over note, and letting us drink. And the one I did imitating that is called The Evening Crickets. Still light and sweltering hot on a mid-July evening, and yet the tiny crickets are out there chirping, chirping their 1,000-wing love chorus, showing up without fail every evening shift, ratcheting down the roller blind of night, slowly releasing coolness, leaving only stars to glint between the slats as we slip between the sheets. And then we did confessional poetry, which is with a more personal kind of theme to it. This one's called No Breakdown. No breakdown happened, a non-event. No high-speed rollover into a ditch. No breathtaking flight over a precipice. No crash catapulting me into a hospital ward, culminating in a Prozac prescription. No, the breakdown never came. No sudden stop causing a multi-person pile-up. No, it was more a steady wearing down, traveling mile after mile, close to empty. Perhaps a total breakdown is preferred, all the losses compounding into a one dramatic explosion. Then, once the smoke clears, maybe a change of route, a better vehicle. But I was carrying passengers, 2 little ones. They had a destination, even if mine had become obscure. So I kept my eye on the road, an unfaltering foot on the pedal, and just kept going. Put the brakes to a breakdown. And I'll just add a nursing footnote to that one. Having a breakdown or not, in reality, is not really a matter of choice. And then I'll read my final one here. It's called Resurrecting Violets, and it's in honor of my aunt. Donna was her name. A deep burgundy African violet blooms on my windowsill. Ruffled double flowers above dark green leaves. Promise of more buds beneath. 6 months have passed since my aunt lay dying, appeared to sleep, surprised me when she spoke. Her lips and mouth so dry, all I could do was offer water, small spoonfuls at a time. Wow, she said after each sip, that's some good. African violets had filled her home, tiers of white, purple, pink, on tall stands by the window. Counters covered with small water-filled jars, where leaf cuttings extended tiny roots. All were dying without her care. From her home, I claimed my inheritance, a parched and limp violet, one dead flower indicating its color. I placed it on my kitchen windowsill, trimmed the dead leaves, watered it in small, careful amounts, placed 3 leaf cuttings in a jar, and now a deep burgundy African violet blooms on my windowsill, and 3 new plants are ready for potting.